The man had been holding this position for 3 hours. Finally, the woman in the woods slowly began to remove her top. But at this crucial moment, his wife approached and questioned what he was looking at. Gordon claimed he was just admiring the view across the way, then handed her the car keys, suggesting she go shopping down the mountain. Inside, he was already burning with anticipation. As soon as his wife left, Gordon quickly picked up his binoculars again. But within moments, the woman in the woods had disappeared. Driven by curiosity, he entered the forest. Deep in the woods, Gordon came upon a sight that excited him even more. The beautiful woman was lying by a rock, barely dressed and appearing weak. Gordon licked his lips, first picking up a stick from the ground and throwing it toward her. When she showed no reaction, he gazed at her exquisite face and graceful figure and decided to summon the courage to move closer. Suddenly, a pair of scissors stabbed into his arm from behind. Gordon fell to the ground in pain. When he got up, he ran forward desperately and hid behind a large tree. Only then did he realize he had fallen into a trap. Gordon raised his binoculars to see who had stabbed him. He saw the attacker holding scissors with bandages wrapped around their head. Terrified, Gordon turned and continued running. Perhaps due to his anxiety, he became lost and mysteriously arrived at a house. After calling out several times with no answer, he broke a window with a rock, entered the house, found a medical kit, and treated his wound. He then entered a room filled with scientific equipment. There was a walkie-talkie on the table, which Gordon picked up to call for help. A man answered on the other end. Gordon explained that he was being hunted by someone whose face was covered in bandages and that he had no choice but to climb over the fence and break into the house. Rather than scold Gordon for trespassing, the man kept asking if Gordon was certain it was a bandaged figure. When Gordon confirmed, the man told him to run immediately, as he could see the strange figure approaching on the security cameras. He instructed Gordon to meet him at the laboratory on the mountaintop. Gordon sprinted there and soon met the man, who introduced himself as a scientist conducting experiments. The scientist pointed to a large pool, suggesting they hide inside when the bandaged figure arrived. Gordon looked at the glowing pool with suspicion, but with the bandaged figure already at the door, there was no time to hesitate. Gordon jumped into the pool and urged the scientist to join him, but the man seemed to ignore him. As the cover slowly descended over the pool, Gordon was completely trapped inside. After what seemed like an eternity, a flash of intense light occurred, and Gordon was released. When he had entered, it was night, now it was daytime. Even stranger, the scientist before him appeared to have lost his memory, asking Gordon who he was and how he had gotten into the experimental equipment. Gordon was furious, believing the scientist had tricked him and was now pretending to have amnesia. Suddenly remembering the bandaged figure who had been chasing him, Gordon picked up the binoculars to check on the situation and looked toward his home. His wife was still there, but there was another man in the house. Looking more carefully, Gordon realized this man was himself. Gordon fell to his knees, not understanding what had happened. The scientist knelt beside him, excited that his experiment had finally succeeded. He explained to Gordon that the pool was actually a time machine that could duplicate a person and transport them back several hours. Gordon was now Gordon number 2, while the one at home was Gordon number 1. Panicked at this news, Gordon insisted the scientist change him back, as he didn't want to share his wife with anyone even if that person was himself. The scientist said there was a solution. If they could trick Gordon number 1 into the time machine, they could make him disappear, leaving only one Gordon in the world. Without delay, Gordon number 2 drove home. On the way, he saw a beautiful woman on a bicycle, the same woman from the woods. Gordon stopped the car to think, if the woman left, who would lure Gordon number 1 into the woods? Just then, a red truck crashed into him, throwing him down an embankment and breaking his head open. Gordon removed the bandage from his arm and wrapped it around his head. Looking in the rearview mirror, he realized he looked familiar. The bandaged figure was actually himself. When the beautiful woman approached to check on him, the entire event began to form a closed loop. Gordon number 2 pulled out a pair of scissors and forced the woman to go to the woods.